Is Kyler Murray truly fighting for his starting job next week in Dallas? The pressure's on, and the Cardinals might already be looking ahead. Reports already coming out that they're already scouting right here in ASU. Does that mean that a new quarterback could be on their radar? Let's break it all down. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack up that like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. On this channel, we're covering the Arizona Cardinals news, breaking news, conversational pieces, everything surrounding your favorite team. Subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free, and we're on the road to 19K. Cannot do without you guys, so make sure you go ahead and subscribe it up. Appreciate you guys. But today we're going to be diving into, is Kyler Murray truly fighting for his starting quarterback one role in Dallas in week 9. If you guys do not know, the Cardinals currently right now are in a bye week. We're not playing in week 8, but week 9, we got our second primetime game of 2025 and our last primetime game against the Dallas Cowboys. And there's been a graphic floating around about the teams that are going to have the toughest schedules for the remaining part of the NFL season. And guess what? The Arizona Cardinals are up there with one of the toughest schedules to finish off the season. So it doesn't look really good, but for those positive people out there that want to keep hope alive, that's completely fine. Get those positive vibes out there. But I've been a Cardinal fan for long enough to know that usually when we get to this point, it usually doesn't correct itself, but I could be wrong. I absolutely could. But let's dive into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about what we've been seeing yesterday, because there's some reports out there coming out that the Cardinals are already kind of scouting in local university here in Arizona and ASU. Now, I want to go ahead and shine some light here on the report that I ended up seeing yesterday. And shout out here to Blake Neiman. He ended up putting out this post here on X and Twitter saying this: several NFL scouts, including the Arizona Cardinals, are here at ASU practice this morning. So pretty interesting. On the surface, who the Arizona Cardinals scouting, we're already starting here. And it's the crazy thing is, like, we're not even like midway through the season. Like, we're close to midway through the season. It's probably like a game or two off, but like, we're already starting to establish, okay, well, what's going to be the future of the Cardinals? And that's not where you really want it to be in a year 3 of rebuild. But I'm kind of glad that we're starting to kind of, go out to different multiple schools and, kind of start the scouting process. It got me to the understanding as to, like, okay, well, who are these scouting, right? Specifically because we all know that Arizona Cardinal fans that are also ASU fans, there's a portion of ASU fans that really wanted Cam Scadaboo to come here. And I did too, but I also didn't understand the depth that we had on this team with, of course, James Conner, as well as Trey Benson. And of course, now you fast forward here where we are in week 8 of the NFL season, and we got none of those guys, right? Now, Trey Benson is supposed to be coming back. James Conner's done for the year. I don't think we were able to predict that this was going to happen. And of course, we're seeing Cam Scadaboo absolutely light it up with the New York Giants over there. So shout out to him and Jackson Dart for bringing life back to that New York market with the Giants over there. And he's doing wonders over there right now. And it does kind of feel like there's a portion of fans saying, told you we should have gone after Cam Scadaboo. He's the best running back in, college last year. And now he seems to be one of the best running backs in this young draft class. So, I'm excited to see what his career is going to be, but it kind of opens up my eyes to see, okay, well, who are the Arizona Cardinals scouting right now? The only guys that I'm really looking at for ASU, although I'm having a very fun time watching ASU football on Saturdays, is 2 guys only. One of them being Sam Levitt and the other one being Jordan Tyson, wide receiver. Now, we've already heard reports that this next week on their matchup on Saturday, Jordan Tyson will be out, so he will not be playing. And then we ended up seeing Sam Levitt miss a game earlier this year as well. So we're kind of seeing, a couple of these guys, missing a game or two, but like, I'm not really concerned about, oh, are these guys injury prone or anything like that. But these guys are probably the creme de la creme when it comes down to who are NFL teams going to be scouting heading into the 2026 NFL draft. And it's crazy that we're talking about this right now and we're still, in October, but it is what it is. But Sam Levitt, believe it or not, he's probably going to be a top tier quarterback. Now, we don't know exactly if he's going to declare for the draft. As of right now, it's way too early to tell. But with what we've been hearing is that the quarterback, I guess, draft class, the guys that we expect to come out, it was supposed to be better than now that it looks like. So I think anything can be up in the air right now. So a player like Sam Levitt that had a really good start to his career last year and continued to build on this year, he could potentially be a, first round, second round, third round pick, really depending on which, I guess, team can really value his skill set, right? And of course, we kind of circle back to the Arizona Cardinals. Should the Arizona Cardinals potentially be scouting him? Well, of course, they should be scouting anybody, because anybody to make the Arizona Cardinals better is exactly who they should be scouting. And honestly, Sam Levitt, although is not my top quarterback in this draft, if the Cardinals do decide to go quarterback, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm very, very intrigued with them. But I really do like the wide receiver Jordan Tyson over there. I do believe he's like top one, top two, top three wide receiver. Just obviously depending on who you're going to be asking. Like top three wide receiver in the 2026 NFL draft. Now, we don't exactly know if he's going to declare either. It's trending most likely that he will compared to Sam Levitt, but they're both really, really young. I think Levitt is 20. He's going to be 21 by the start of the next season. And then Jordan Tyson's 21. I believe he's going to be 22. I believe around the draft, if not, maybe a little after. So they're really, really young players. And we've seen players get drafted that young, but right now it's just kind of a lot of unknown when it comes down to it. But I'm not going to lie to you, I'm really intrigued with Sam Levitt. What do I think it's beneficial for him to probably go in one more year to kind of, you know, I guess keep developing? I guess, you definitely could say maybe it would be better, but, you know, I don't know if he wants to live in a world without his wide receiver number one. It's a risk at the end of the day, right? Will he go back to ASU while Jordan Tyson hits the draft and then he loses his wide receiver number one? I mean, that's a realistic possibility. Will he test his luck and see if there's a team to potentially draft him the first, second, and third round? And let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, that Jackson Dart, when I was talking about him in October and November, ain't nobody was projecting him to be a first round pick. When I was originally talking about him, I was saying third rounder, fourth rounder, right? Like, I feel like the Cardinals, if they got him there, would be a real good steal. But now, since the draft season came around, he shot up draft boards and he was a first round pick for the Giants, ended up trading back into the first round to get him. So you never know, right? So if you're sitting right now saying, oh, Sam Levitt is a first round pick, you never know. Right now we're sitting in October. We got several months from the draft. Things can happen, the combine, pro days, the rest of the season for college can happen, and you just never know at the end of the day. So these are the only really guys that I'm kind of have my eye on in terms of who the Arizona Cardinals could potentially bring in, and I would get very, very excited. Now, of course, the dream would be Jordan Tyson in the first round, and then, of course, somewhere in the second, maybe in the third round, you end up getting your QB. But you never know. Like I said, you can shoot up draft boards depending on what happens in the rest of the season. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. So I'm curious, what are your guys' overall thoughts? Do you guys want the Arizona Cardinals to bring in some ASU guys? Let me know in the comments below. But overall, I just found that a little fascinating, and I'm actually kind of excited the Cardinals are jumping on the opportunity to scout these guys because we all kind of feel like the one that kind of got away with Cam Scadaboo over there. So super, super excited about it. Let me go ahead and give a shout out to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. That's going to be none other than Sleeper. Big shout out to them, proud sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan throughout the entirety of the 2025 season. The NFL season is here, which means you now have a chance to 100 times your cash on daily fantasy football. Pick on stats for stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, and fantasy points, and more for up to 100 times a payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right, and you can win big. Use promo code AZSF, and you can get up to a $100 deposit match on your first initial deposit. Terms and conditions apply. And yes, they will be providing you with another great offer as well. We'll just give you a free $20 to use their app by using promo code AZSF upon signing up. No deposit needed, so you make sure you check out that great offer and take advantage of just using $20 on their app and testing it out as you can. But if you're looking at the other teams that were in the attendance for scouting yesterday in the NFL, you got Patriots. They're probably looking for their wide receiver number one, so it makes sense that they're there. You got the Carolina Panthers. You got the Falcons. You also got the Saints, which are potentially going into the quarterback market as well, being the fact that they most likely will be a top 5 pick in the draft. And then you got the Cardinals there, right? Why are they there? Unknown, right? Big, big unknown. But we're going to have to kind of wait and see how that all shakes out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on over to the next topic that I want to talk about, and that's going to be none other than, is Kyler Murray fighting for a starting job on Monday Night Football? Now, this is a fascinating topic. It really is, because Kyler Murray, when he ended up getting the head doink off his helmet, right? And some people were like, oh, he got concussed, right? It's just so weird that he ended up leaving the game with a foot injury. He left for like less than a drive. And then he ended up coming back and finishing off the game, right? But like the unknown that's coming around with this whole injury, the foot injury, it's like, A, where did he sustain this? And B, he finished it. And then C, there's a level of, how do you not know that if he's going to be available to play on Monday Night Football or not, right? Or like, just how vague they're keeping things right now is just so weird. And I'm not coming out here saying that Kyler Murray's got a phantom, foot injury. No, I do believe he's got some sort of injury, but like, is it really truly that bad? Or do they think that him not being at 100% is really hindering them to not win games? So it's just a lot of fascinating things to kind of obviously, coincide to like when is he coming back? Is he coming back? We don't exactly know. But the question out there is Kyler Murray fighting for his job on Monday Night Football? Before Jacoby Brissett ended up starting, we heard a lot of people come out there saying that if you get rid of Drew Petzing, everything will be fixed. Drew Petzing's offense won't work in the NFL. Yeah, there's not a lot of plays down the field that Kyler Murray can do. It's not his fault, right? All these different things. The offensive line is horrendous, and although the offensive line is not that great, we've seen Jacoby Brissett still being able to put numbers out there, and that's back-to-back games with the Colts as well as the Green Bay Packers. And the Packers have a really, really good defense. So what we see from Jacoby Brissett, there really shouldn't be any excuses for Kyler, right? Like if Kyler Murray comes back on Monday Night Football versus the Dallas Cowboys in Jerry World and AT&T, we're all expecting that same type of production that we ended up seeing from Jacoby Brissett. Now, a couple different fascinating things that I've just come to find out probably within the last 2 weeks. Kyler Murray is 8-0 in AT&T Stadium in Dallas, in Jerry World. Yeah, 8-0. It's absolutely crazy. Now, that's not all with the Cardinals. This is kind of span through high school, college, right? All and then the NFL. It's kind of a span between when he plays there. For some reason, he has the best time of his career. It's super, super weird, but he's 8-0 in AT&T Stadium, and I believe he's 2-0 versus the Dallas Cowboys in his career playing the Cowboys. So pretty fascinating. It would be kind of cool to see Kyler Murray come into AT&T Stadium and hopefully light it up and put crazy numbers out there like Jacoby Brissett ended up doing. But that's the big question mark out there, right? Why weren't we able to see that within the first 5 weeks? Why was it so hard for us to move the ball around? Because it's not just people think that Jacoby Brissett is leaps and bounds better than Kyler. I don't think that's the situation. I think Kyler Murray is a really good quarterback. The problem is, I do believe that you being able to stay in the pocket and allow plays to develop and actually take chunk plays and big explosive plays, it does kind of coincide to what makes this offense actually function the way that it is. And it was functioning a lot better with Jacoby Brissett. Now, can Kyler Murray learn from that? Well, I would hope so, because all the excuses are out the door right now, especially when you're seeing a backup quarterback that you're paying $8-9 million a year, being able to function this offense in a very, very high level. Now, Kyler Murray on the other side of the coin, getting paid what, $45+ million, and what we saw in the first 5 weeks is not really acceptable, right? At all. So I hope the Arizona Cardinals already have a plan. I really do. Like, if the Cardinals know that Kyler Murray is going to be the guy for the remaining of the year, then okay, right? But I'm not looking just for this year. I need, what's the plan for 2026? If you're still so unknown about Kyler right now, in this point of his career, in year 7, and you don't know if he's going to be your guy in 2026, then why not pull the Band-Aid off now? I think that's my biggest question, my biggest concern out there, is that the Cardinals, for how they've been ran as an organization, is that they're always so far behind a lot of teams that are already thinking 2 seasons, 1 season ahead, right? The Cardinals are not that team. And unfortunately, with Monty Ossenfort, he's not proving to me that he's also not thinking very far ahead. Like, they're thinking week to week basis. And I guess that's fine if you don't want to, get too high on a season or too low on a season. But you really got to realistically look at the future and what the Arizona Cardinals are going to potentially accomplish next year in 2026. Because I do believe we have a good team to compete in the NFL. The biggest unknown right now is, can our quarterback function this offense to the level that it needs to be functioned at, right? And I would love the Arizona Cardinals to know, is Kyler Murray your guy? And if Kyler Murray is your guy, let him throw the ball down the field, right? At least get that coaching mentality that he has in his head in terms of the checkdowns are okay, because that's where the ball needs to go. You need to allow him, or at least tell him and coach him, that you need to start playing like Jacoby Brissett. Throw the ball down the field, get the explosive plays. That's what you need to do in this offense to make it function the way that it needs to function. Now, like I said, is a little bit on Drew Petzing. Of course, I think everybody's got a fault as to what's happening with this offense. The run game being non-existent, the right side of the offensive line being not great, the inconsistent play of the quarterback play, the play calls, everything has its hand into why the Arizona Cardinals are currently 2-5. It's not all Kyler Murray's fault, and I can definitely go out there and admit it. And Kyler Murray is not a bad quarterback. I've ranked them probably 13, 14, 15, top quarterback in the NFL, which is middle tier. It's not top 10. It's a middle tier, but you can win with the middle tier quarterback as long as he's able to function the offense the best that this offense needs to be functioning. And as of right now, we have not been able to see that from Kyler Murray. So this is another fascinating thing. Monday Night Football, literally the next day is the trade deadline. So the Cardinals have a lot of things to think about. If they're going to move off of Kyler, and I'm not saying they're going to, right? And I'm not saying there's reports or there's any rumors out there that they're going to move off of Kyler. I'm not saying that. But honestly, I mean, I've even heard our local radio host end up coming out here said that they wouldn't be surprised if it happened. Like, that's crazy that we're already starting to talk about that situation, that they wouldn't be surprised if that happened. Now, they're not reporting, they're not saying or any rumors like that, but they're not surprised if the Cardinals were to rip off the band aid. And I actually heard an ESPN analyst come out and say that the Cardinals should do it. They should rip off the band aid instead of waiting to the offseason to a team like the Vikings, maybe like the Raiders, maybe like the Saints, right? Maybe those teams that could benefit from a quarterback that still has a big caliber name out there. And maybe the Cardinals can coop draft picks and think about 2026 and just let Jacoby Brissett finish off the season. Now, I'm not looking for Jacoby Brissett to save us and have us a playoff run. No, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for 2026 at the end of the day. So I need the Arizona Cardinals to have a plan. I truly don't know if he's fighting for his starting job or not. But this is going to be a very fascinating to see because it's not going to be easy for Kyler Murray to put that same numbers that Jacoby Brissett was able to do with the 2-game sample size that we ended up seeing. But ladies and gentlemen, what are your overall thoughts on this whole situation? Let me know in the comments below. Are the Cardinals already scouting their new quarterback in ASU? Well, let's find out, see how the rest of the season unfolds, ladies and gentlemen. All right, appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day and go Cardinals.